Hi, Commissioner. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your testimony. I know we have limited time, and before I ask you to weigh in on something, there's a lot of questions I'd like to ask you, but we don't have a tremendous amount of time. I'd really like to ask a question and have everybody in the room weigh in on it before I tell you what I want you to weigh in on. I'd like to ask everybody in the room who clearly cares about education, our kids, the system itself. If your child was being bullied in school, raise your hand. Got my colleagues here and all the staff. Raise your hand if you would not want to be notified of a case where your child has been bullied in school, psychologically, emotionally, or physically. Just raise your hand. I just want to know. Okay. I think you know where I'm going probably with this, Commissioner. I think you'll agree with me, parents count. It's their tax dollars we're talking about. They love their children more than probably any of us could imagine, and we love our own children. They're the ones who are accountable. They're the ones who are responsible. They're the ones who want to see them get a great education. We could have great bricks and mortar, the best teachers in the world, and I spent 10 years, as you probably know, in a classroom. I was an educator, did all the standardized tests, got my degree from the College of St. Rose, special education, ran a resource room, did team teaching. Great administrators, great commissioners. You mentioned it early. If they don't feel safe, comfortable, or respected in school, we're failing. They're simply not going to learn. We're at a point now where we do think parents count. I hear educators, I know you as the commissioner, the regents, all of us, we want parents involved. They did get involved with that Common Core, with the standardized tests, and I'm happy we're moving in a little bit of a different direction. We're making a lot of improvements here, and I really appreciate that. We want them to come and meet with the teachers. We want them to help with educational plans, curriculum, join the PTA. But we have that Dignity for All Students Act, which you talked about, which I think if there was 10 million and another 7 million, it's about 17 million, you're going to work to try to improve that Dignity for All Students Act. The one thing I didn't hear, and the guidelines are not, I believe, if there is bullying in a school, the main reporter has to report that to the state education department. They are not mandated to report it to the parents. That absolutely boggles my mind. And I know why none of my colleagues in the Senate raised their hand, because they voted 62-0 for Jacob's Law. Do you know the case of Jacob Terrace in this capital region?
I don't.
Jacob Terrace was 12 years old. He was bullied in school, bullied excessively. And by the way, I think you and I understand, this has evolved, what bullying has been for me and for you. You're a youngster, but it was a little bit different for me when I was there. It doesn't end at the gates of the school or the doors of the school. It's 24/7. It's psychological, it's emotional, and it is physical. It goes on and on and on and on. Jacob Terrace, 12 years old, parents weren't notified that he was being bullied in school. Jacob Terrace committed suicide, took his life, lived in the capital region. I fully believe if their parents were notified, I know if I was notified, I'd be at that school. Just like I want to be a part of the curriculum and other educational aspects of my child, I think the parents here and the parents in New York State want to be a part of protecting the environment that their kids are in. I'm not only talking about Jacob. I'm talking about that poor kid and those kids who did the bullying. Their parents need to be notified too. That's what Jacob's Law does. It would say that schools are required when bullying takes place. Pretty simple. I'm going to contact the parents. And just like I want you to come in and talk to me about the curriculum of your child, how he's doing on those, or she's doing on those standardized tests. By the way, not to stigmatize the child, but give us guidance on how to move forward those standardized tests. I want you to help me develop a plan. I want the parents of the child who's doing the bullying, and I want the parents like Jacob Tariff's parents to come in. I can't understand why we're going to spend $17 million. And don't get me wrong, I think you're doing some good things there. But we're not required to tell a parent when their child is being bullied at school. I believe Jake would probably be alive today if their parents had known. They would have weighed in. And I don't know what your position is on this, but I hope you would support the concept that we would notify the parents on an important issue like this, just like we want them to be involved with other aspects of our educational system.
So let me weigh in very clearly. I think parents should be involved in everything that happens to their child. All of the work that we've done in state ed since I've been here has included parents as key contributors to whatever we're working on. I would agree with you that parents need to know when there's issues happening with their child, and they also need, the other group of parents that needs to know is the one who is causing the issues. Those are the things that are great, good practice that is supported in research, that is also, we also know that when we have surveys, it comes out clearly. The surveys that I mentioned earlier, Senator, specifically have a component that gets information from parents, gets it from students, and gets it from teachers and practitioners.
I know getting information from parents is good. I'm asking you, do you support notifying parents, your child, if he or she is bullied in school? I don't know if you have.
So let me just say that real clearly. I thought I said they should be involved in everything. So that's what it is, but yeah, I support that. But I will say this to you. We also have to have parents understand that when they get a call from a school about what bullying is, they need to get in there and address that, and they need to work with the school. What I'm suggesting is $10 million that would support a program that not only would help schools to understand the importance of having input and a notification to parents, but also how to deal with that in the school environment. Because as you know, that is an important part of that. It's not just your child was bullied, it's what are the issues that are causing this to happen. And I would suggest to go even further. In the environment that we are in with social media, this is a major issue. Because parents don't even know that these things are happening on social media and carried into the school. So I'm very focused on making sure parents are part of all of that. I would support parents being notified, but it's much more than that. I think we have to make sure we have resources for schools so they can really address the issue. It's not 17, it is $10 million, and it specifically is to support positive school climate and bullying prevention.